factor. What is the rate of transmission of the virus? We're now at about 0.8. You cannot go above of 1.2. 1.2, you see that number go right back up again. And we'll be sitting here talking about showing you a chart that showed up, down, and then up again. That showed up, down, and then up again. That's what happens if the rate of transmission gets to $1.2. So this is the balance that we collectively need to strike. I want to get back to work. I want to get back to work. My kids want out of the house. I need to do something. I understand. We have to do it intelligently, and this is the definition of intelligence in this context. Also, I don't want to just reopen. We learned a lot of lessons here, painfully, but we learned a lot of lessons. And that's what reimagine means to me. How do we take the lessons we learned, take this pause in life, and say, when we reopen, we're going to be better for it. And we're going to reimagine what our life is, and we're going to improve for this pause. Look, even on an individual level, you had time to decompress a little bit or compress for a different set of factors, but I think everybody went through a period where they analyzed their life and what they were doing, and when somebody all of a sudden pulls the rug out from under you and you wind up in a different place, you know, you just see life differently. And I think that's true for most people. Okay. After that reflection, what have we learned? How do we improve, and how do we build back better? Because it's not about return to yesterday. There is no return to yesterday in life. It's about moving forward. It's about taking your experience and what you learned and bringing it to a positive effect. And with that, I want to end on just sharing a story that taught me a lot. There's a tunnel in New York called the L train tunnel. People in New York City know it very well. It's a tunnel that connects Manhattan and Brooklyn. And 400,000 people use this train and this tunnel. 400,000 people is a larger group than many cities in this country have, okay? So they had to close down the tunnel because the tunnel was old and the tunnel had problems, and everybody looked at it and they said, we have to close down the tunnel. 400,000 people couldn't get to work without that train, and they had all these complicated plans on how they were going to mitigate the transportation problem, and different buses and different cars and different bikes and different horses. The whole alternative transportation. And this went on for years. Everyone said you had to close the tunnel, and it was going to be closed for 15 to 18 months. Now, when government says it's going to be closed for 15 to 18 months, I hear 24 months to the rest of your life. That's my governmental cynicism. But that was the plan. We're going to close it down, rebuild the tunnel 15 months to 18 months, the MTA. This was going to be a massive disruption. I heard a lot of complaints. I get a few smart people, Cornell engineers, Columbia engineers. We go down into the tunnel, and we look at it, and the engineers say, you know what, there's a different way to do this. And they talk about techniques that they use in Europe. And they say not only could we bring these techniques here, and we wouldn't have to shut down the tunnel at all, period. We could just stop usage at nights and on weekends, and we can make all of the repairs. And we can do it with a partial closure for 15 months. The opposition to this new idea was an explosion. I was a meddler. I didn't have an engineering degree. They were outside experts. How dare you question the bureaucracy? The bureaucracy knows better. It was a thunderstorm of opposition. But we did it anyway, and we went ahead with it. And we rebuilt the tunnel, and the tunnel is now done better than before. before with all these new techniques. It opens today. It opens today. And the proof is in the pudding, right? We went through this period of, I don't believe it, this is interference. It opened today. And it opens today, not in 15 months, but actually in only 12 months of a partial shutdown. So it's ahead of schedule, it's under budget, and it was never shut down. I relay this story because you can question, and you should question, why we do what we do. Why do we do it that way? I know that's how we've always done it, but why do we do it that way? And why can't we do it a different way? Why not try this? Why not try that? People don't like change, you know. We think we like change, but we don't really like change. We like control more than anything, right? But, so it's hard. It's hard to make change. It's hard to make change in your own life, let alone on a societal, collective level. But if you don't change, you don't grow. And if you don't run the risk of change, you don't have the benefit of advancement. Not everything out there has to be the way it is. So we just went through this wild period where people are walking around with masks. Not because I said to, but because they understand they need to. How do we make it better? How do we make it better? And let's use this period to do just that. And we will. And we'll reimagine and we'll make it a reality because we are New York tough and smart and disciplined and unified and loving, and because we know that we can. We know that we can. We showed that we can. Questions?
What you presented today seems to be an outline, kind of a philosophical approach to reopening, but when can people expect, like, dates and hard facts and times of opening? When are we going to get details?
You have them there, Jess. You have May 15th. The pause is statewide until May 15th, right? Then you have the CDC guidance that says total hospitalization is declining for 14 days. Okay? So we get to May 15th. What regions have seen a decline for 14 days? Well, we're assuming we will have seen a decline in the state for 14 days. But what states what regions of the state have seen a decline for 14 days? That's where you will start the conversation to get to phase 1 in that region. The regions that would be more likely able to open sooner would be the upstate regions. You take like central New York, you take the North Country, you take the Mohawk Valley. Those regions have seen lower numbers from day one. So you would talk about phase one opening there, which is the construction and manufacturing, with the caveat, don't do anything that's going to bring people in from all across the board, and then you have people from New York City and Massachusetts and Connecticut coming in. Also, the construction by manufacturing is a business by business analysis. Not all construction is the same. Not all manufacturing is the same. What are those businesses doing to incorporate